Which one of those would you want? Which one of those would you be? Which one of those is living in submission to God's word and in service to one another better? I'll let you be the judge. One of my favorite passages in the Bible is another man that understood submission because he lived it. So we're going to jump into, and I'm sorry it's not up on the board, but we'll just get into it. When Jesus entered Capernaum, a centurion came to him and asked him for help. "Lord," he said, "my servant lies at home, paralyzed, suffering terribly." Jesus said to him, "Shall I come and heal him?" The centurion replied, "Lord, I do not deserve to have you come under my roof." At the time, the Jews would be considered unclean if they entered a house of a Gentile, so he didn't want to bother Jesus with it. "But just say the word, and my servant will be healed. For I myself am a man under authority, with soldiers under me. I tell this one, go, and he goes. And I tell that one, come, and he comes. Do this, and he does it." And when Jesus heard this, he was amazed and said to those following him, "Truly, I tell you, I have not found anyone in Israel with such great faith." Can you imagine if you're walking with Jesus, Peter, walking with Jesus, and then you run into a centurion and you hear Jesus say, "I haven't met anybody that's got as much faith as this guy." And they're like, "What the heck?" Right? That's a big blow. But this man knew what it meant to serve under one, to submit willfully under one, and have 100 men submit willfully under him. And I don't know what your knowledge of centurions are, but they were it was an interesting bunch. But normally the centurions had a lot of prestige, and when they fought in a column, the centurion always fought in the front of his column. And he was very well respected amongst his men. They were honorable and courageous and strong, right? So all evidence shows that this centurion was a good steward of the servants, his family, and the men under his command. And because he understood that principle, it made what Jesus was doing so easy for him to understand. He looked at Jesus and realized that man is submitting to the will of the Father, and he's walking around doing his bidding. And it made perfect sense to him. And he had all the faith in the Lord, and that's what Jesus was doing. And it was because of his background and his experience in willfully submitting that came so easy. He wasn't this super individual that just, what's all about me, and I've got to be different. No, he was in the system, willfully submitting to his leader and having men willfully surrender to him. And understanding the great responsibility that comes with having people under your command surrendering to you. And that's not a blessing. The more people you have under you is not the more people that work for you. The more people that you surrender to are the more people you work for. And this sounded like a man that knew that the 100 soldiers working for him, he was working for them, in fact.